So we have everybody and their brother doing yard work. So I've closed the garage door. And he can even see some of this dried gunk, whatever that is. So the bluing is gone and you can see surface, I don't know, whatever this material was, however it was machine finished. So methinks, because that looks kind of terrible. Again, there's still not rust, but whatever up in there. This piece, how quick it rusts just from the water sprayage. Again, doesn't take but a second to start rusting out. So I am going to bead blast these first, and then I will, wow, that gunk is still fucking in there. I will bead blast these first with Redzilla, and then some type of polish. Still don't know if this comes out. Let's see if I can. Look in there. I got some thoughts. Alright, so before I bead blast, and before everything on my bench falls off that I touch, I'm going to see if I can separate that. My guess is that that just screws in, but it's in there pretty tight. So I'm going to do that, and so I'll bead blast. That's probably today's activity, bead blast, and then maybe on Sunday tomorrow we'll do the polishing. So I'll be back after the bead blast. So this would be before bead blast, and we'll see how that comes out afterwards. More to come. And we are back post sandblasting, bead blasting. So the dies now have a beautiful satin luster, which I'm debating leaving as satin luster because I want to say that, I mean, they are just gorgeous. I did take that piece off. It's just gorgeous in terms of the uniformity of the finish all throughout, all the pieces. I think I corrected myself before when I said this is the cedar plug or whatever. But again, everything was blasted down to the smallest detail. I'm beginning to think I could have done this, and I even did the inside of the rings, and then I even bead blasted the brass plugs. So they have a nice luster all around. These I know were blued. The die bodies were not blued. I believe these two parts were blued. In fact, when I did manage to unscrew this before I sandblasted or bead blasted, this whole stem was dark from bluing. So let me check the instrucciones and see what I can find about what was blued and what was not. So I might actually have to okay, so obviously the rings are blued. This knurl is up there. That's blued. We knew that. So blue, 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 blue. And the cedar I believe the cedar, I want to say this was not blued. I think what I will do is probably look for this exact set for a picture online. Yeah, it looks like the cedar combination. And it looks like maybe on the decap that this nut was blued. Cedar dye. Yeah, this whole thing, this whole stem is definitely blued. All right, so blue, 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 and this nut. All right, so we're going to cold blue those pieces. And to be quite frank with you, I'm thinking I'm not going to polish these. I actually like this luster. These are not Lee dyes. Lees are a high polish. So I think what I'm going to do is spray these down with a CLP, an oil, and we will start, these fucking things that tear on a perforated edge never tear on the perforated edge when I'm trying to get them out. All right, so what we're going to cold blue is this nut. And the reason for the gloves is to keep my oily fingers, or rather the oil from my skin and my fingers, from affecting the freshly bead blasted finish. The brass I'm not worried about. Brass will tarnish, and brass is very easy to come back. Alright, so there's my two brass pieces. Alright, so we are going to cold blue those using some Birchwood Casey cold bluing. And I've got that somewhere. And I'll have to find that. So I'll be back and we will be bluing. Bluing time. Birchwood Casey Super Blue, cold bluing. And I'm a recent fan of this Ezox. Decent stuff. So I will coat those. But first let me get my cold blue going. Bring the blue to the item and not the other way around. And what's gonna suck is let me do these little ones first. And you can see how quickly those cold blue. So it's probably going to be a little more challenging to do. Well, maybe not. All right, so you're seeing real-time bluing. Bluing my pliers. Probably should have left my gloves on so I don't get cold blue all over the place, but whatever. fuck? Dumbass. Sloppy man. No, I'm not liking the way the rings are turning out. They're looking kind of choppy at best. Let me get this fucker in there. My cold blue solution might be due for some change out. Do I have a fucking leak in this thing? Or am I just sloppy as all hell? Probably all sloppy as all hell. Yeah, not liking how that turned out. What's interesting is like this little chemical whiteness. Haven't seen that before. Don't know what's causing that. So let me rinse. Okay. So, what I do after I cold blue, and it came out good. What I do after I cold blue and dry them off is put them in a bag with, yeah, that actually came out really good. Put them in a bag. Put them in a bag with oil for a day. Trying to get the top of that black. A little better. So I found that when you let them set for a day in oil, in the bag of oil, they look great. They look really, really good. Actually, these did come out good. I stand corrected. I still don't know what that funky gray shit is on there. But since it rubs off, maybe that's a chemical reaction of the bluing. I don't know. I'm going to set that in there for another couple seconds. All right, where's my baggie? I'm gonna go get a baggie. All right, and as you can tell from my fingers, it looks like I'm a child playing with markers. Child part's probably not too far off. All right, that's the rich black I was looking for, which maybe I will get once I use my Rem oil. Old can of Remington oil that has lasted me many years. might be time for a new can of rim oil. Alright, so those are a rich-ish black. I don't know about this one. We'll see how. This one definitely. This one, that one definitely black. This one not as black. These came out nice and dark. The nut came out dark. Weren't there two nuts? Yes, there were. Dumbass. Alright, so those will set like that overnight. The rim oil is done. I probably should have kept my gloves on through this whole process. I like the fact that I now have cold-blued tweezers. Alright, I love the smell of this too, by the way. So what I'll probably do is get another baggie. Be right back. Okay, we now have other baggie. This stuff has got a huge aerosol to it. But it's like man cologne. Well, cologne is for men, but a scent of man cologne, in my opinion. What I should probably do, blast a little rim oil down there center. My luck, it's probably creating a toxic combination with two different oils. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with just leaving these as a luster instead of trying to make them look like Lee dyes, which is you know, a highly polished. So I'll have to see what dyes from RCDOs look like in the native wild. Alright, so that is almost it. I can tell you right now, I'm going to reblue that because I do not like how light it looks. This looks way too light compared to this one. So I'll redo that one.